everybody, Lauren Kay here. It's a cold day outside. It was snowing this morning. It's a great day in my opinion for a nice big warm bowl of soup. Got the idea this morning to take out some of that frozen turkey from my freezer, use some everyday vegetables that I have on hand. Don't need to go to the grocery store to get all the ingredients for this dish, so I'm using just what I have on hand, which might be some things that you have on hand. Before we get started on that turkey soup recipe that I'm going to show you in the next video, I think it's important to either introduce or review some knife skills with you in preparing the vegetables that I'm going to use in the soup. When you are chopping vegetables or anything for that matter, you definitely want to have the right knife. For vegetables, you want to use a chef's knife, one that has a straight blade. It's probably going to be the biggest knife that you have in your knife block or in your drawer. So that is really important, good for rocking that knife back and forth to get through all the vegetables quickly that you're chopping. The other thing that you definitely want to have is a cutting board. So for vegetables, you can use a wedding cutting board. They're pretty easy to clean. But if you're cutting raw meat or anything like that, you definitely want to stick to plastic because they're easier to clean. You can throw them in the dishwasher to prevent any bacteria from growing and festering in your cupboard when it's sitting there. So we're going to start with garlic, probably one of the most versatile ingredients that you're going to have for most soups and dinner time meals. So I want to show you a couple tricks. This is going to be a head of garlic, and a head of garlic is made up of several cloves of garlic. So in this recipe, we're going to do 4 cloves of garlic for this turkey noodle soup. An easy trick that I've learned is to bash the garlic on your cutting board, and that allows the peel to come off nice and easy. Instead of trying to pick the peel all off of the garlic, saves you a little bit of time. Again, I have a garbage bowl right next to me. It makes for easy cleanup instead of running to the garbage can back and forth. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that peel off. That one didn't bash as I hoped, but there we go on that. So I'm gonna cut the ends off of my cloves of garlic here, and then I'm going to mince. So mincing is basically as small as you can get an item or an ingredient to be. So I'm gonna slice through these first, and then my goal is to get them as tiny as it can possibly be because garlic is very strong and we don't wanna bite into any giant chunks of garlic in our soup. When you are chopping vegetables, an important note is that you want all of your vegetables of a certain type to be the same size. So you don't want any giant chunks of garlic or giant chunks of carrot. You want everything to be a uniform size. So as you can see, I'm rocking my knife back and forth, holding the tip with the end of my finger. You can do also a hand on top method here. Scrape the sides of your knife off very gently and very carefully, and then pull all of that back into a pile and go back through your vegetables so that they are all roughly the same size and well minced. So I already have the other 2 cloves of garlic here. I like to have a plate or a bowl on hand where I can just easily transfer all of my chopped vegetables or prepared ingredients so they're easy to use whenever you're building a dish on your stove. Next thing we're gonna try is the onion. So easy way to cut an onion, you wanna cut the ends off first, and then you're gonna cut it in half. Take the peel off of the outside here, and we're gonna chop an onion, which is a little bit bigger than the mince technique. Pull that outside off there for that one as well. And then we're gonna do a tunnel method. I'm gonna do cuts right through almost to the end. So I'm gonna take it right to here. So if you can see where I'm at right there, I'm not going the whole way to the end. It's gonna keep that onion intact at the end so that it holds it all together. We're gonna take a slice through the middle there, and then I'm gonna do a chop through all of those little pieces, and that allows you to chop all of your vegetables, all of your onions the same size relatively quickly. I'm gonna go back through. Let's do this to this other side here. Clean off my knife. We're gonna make cuts lengthwise through the onion, again, not going the whole way through. And then we're gonna do a horizontal slice here, not to the end. So you still have this intact here, and then do a nice slice to the end. Take your end piece off and go through that. Any giant pieces, you can go ahead and pull all of that together and do some last minute chopping to make sure that all of your onions are roughly the same size. So I'm gonna grab this again, and move these onions to my plate. So then I can just slide this plate all into my stock pot whenever I go to build my soup, okay? All right, next vegetable that we're gonna attack here is the carrot. So carrots they're about 99 cents for a whole bag of carrots, really cost effective. Buy a whole bag and you can use it in multiple meals. First thing you wanna do is make sure you scrub it really well, make sure you get them washed. And then you're gonna take a peeler, make sure you peel the outside of that carrot. I think it makes for a nicer presentation as well whenever they're peeled. You don't have to peel them, but I think it just looks prettier whenever you go to present them in your soup. So I already have this one peeled. You're gonna cut your ends off of each side. And one way to make an effective way of cutting your vegetables and kind of make things go faster is to get all of them ready at once and then hold a couple at the same time. We're gonna do coins for our carrots. I like how they look in a soup. Ooh, there goes one flying off. Get away. So we're gonna slice these all up. They're shooting all over my kitchen right now. That's okay, clean those up later. We're gonna grab these together, move those to our plates. And I have a total of 3 carrots. I used 1 onion, 3 carrots, 4 cloves of garlic so far. And the last thing that we're gonna do is our celery. So again, with celery, when you take the stalks off, make sure you wash them really good. You can have some dirt and sand that kind of pull in the bottom here. You wanna make sure that you get that out. So we're gonna cut the ends off, but we're not gonna throw these guys away yet because the tops of the celery have a lot of really good flavor. We're gonna cut the bottoms off, and these are gonna go into our garbage bowl. But what you can do is you can cut some of these leaves off, and these not only make for pretty additions to your soup, but these leaves also have a lot of really good flavor. So I'm gonna chop these up, and we will use these here shortly whenever we go to add these into our soup. They almost kind of look like parsley. They don't taste exactly like parsley, but they will give you a nice pretty look, and they can also be used to garnish a soup as well if you don't have parsley on hand. So we're gonna slide those off to the side there. So for my soup, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my celery in half, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other rib of celery. Cut that in half down the middle. I'm gonna bring all those stalks together and cut them all at the same time. Whenever you try to cut like little individual pieces of celery and then make them individually smaller, it takes a really long time. So with any type of vegetable, I encourage that you find a fast way to cut each one of them up. Every vegetable is different in how you would cut that up effectively and quickly. And honestly, cutting things up just takes time and practice. As you practice more with your vegetable chopping and preparation, it will go faster for you. And as you can see, that really didn't take me any time at all, and all of my vegetables are ready to go. So I'm gonna slide my celery here onto my plate, and then we'll be using that in the stock pot that you see right behind me. One last thing that I wanna share with you all is some tips for picky eaters. So my 2 little boys, I love them, but they give me a run for my money whenever it comes to serving them food and trying to get them to try new things. So one of my strategies is to, if you have kids that don't want to eat your finished dish, think about the things in a dish that they are willing to eat. So my boys, they love carrots and they love celery. They probably will not be very excited to see the soup that I'm gonna make. So since I know that they like some elements of that soup, I'm gonna make sure that I prepare some of those raw elements because they really like raw vegetables. So since there's going to be celery and carrots in the soup, and they may not be excited to eat the soup, what I'm gonna do is take a couple extra celery stalks and an extra carrot. I peeled those up while I was preparing my other vegetables. And I'm going to cut little pieces of celery. My boys love to dip celery in peanut butter, and this will probably end up being our lunch today, part of our lunch. I'm gonna cut these little stalks up. I'm gonna put them on their plates for lunchtime. I'll do the same thing with the carrot. Now with your little ones 2 and under, be really careful about giving them hard things with carrots. What you can do, and what I do for my little guy Andy, who is 2, is I cut them very, very small so he can chew them very easily. And I'm gonna slide those onto Andy's plate. And then for Gavin, he likes sticks. So I'm gonna cut these into little sticks, almost like a little veggie platter for my kiddos. And there are half a plate's worth of fruits and vegetables that you can serve your kiddos when maybe they're not so excited about something that you're making, like the soup that we're gonna make in the next video. So thank you all for checking out my video, learning some vegetable cutting techniques. Take a look at the next video for an amazing turkey soup. And I'm going to show you some different options from things that you can use from your pantry, like barley, rice, pasta, whatever you have on hand. All of those work great. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, everybody. See you next time.